We are back from our first ever group cruise.
We are.
And we want to tell you all about it.
Hi, we're Jill and Jerry, the Cruising Canucks.
Welcome to Banter on Board, our new podcast. This podcast is recorded every Sunday afternoon if you want to join us live on YouTube.
Well, good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are in what part of the world. We are here going live from Orlando.
And so it looks a little different behind us than usual, but we set up something temporary to be able to talk to you in between cruises.
Mm-hmm.
So if we bang the table, the camera moves. So we're trying not to mess anything up. And we see there's lots of people on. And we are back and exhausted from our group cruise. We've been sleeping constantly.
Well, more so than Jerry. I had an afternoon nap in the hotel yesterday afternoon. I slept like I've never slept last night. And I had another nap just a little while ago. I just woke up around an hour ago from my second nap, which, if you know me, I don't nap ever. So that's crazy. But
Do you like my new cup? It's pink.
It is, but it's what they had. Anyways, cheers to a successful 10-day group cruise. We're so happy to be able to talk about it with you right now, and so happy to see that so many people that were with us and experienced it are online. So we're going to have a little time.
Yeah.
A little fun talking about all of that.
Yeah, Mrs. Canuck's voice is a little bit kind of like a lounge singer after the group cruise. I think she used her voice too much for 10 days straight.
If you were with me and you heard me sort of competing with what was going on in the piazza when we were doing our trivia, after I was trying to talk loudly over that, my voice sort of did a little crackling, and every now and then I sound like I'm a smoker or something. I feel fine. I'm not sick. But I did sort of strain my vocal cords, I think, that day.
Mm-hmm. So on our group cruise, we're going to get into the details in a little while. We'll say hi to everybody and go through a couple of things. And we did miss a couple ports. For those that were on board, you know all about it. Those that have been watching from afar, we missed the Princess Keys private island on the first day.
We did. Which
we kind of suspected. We actually knew about a day or two before we getting on the cruise. So that wasn't a shock when we boarded.
Right.
What was a shock to us was pulling up to one of the ports and then pulling away. We were almost there, and that was Dominica.
Yeah, we were looking out. We thought we had docked, and I guess they didn't like the swells, and so we had a second sea day. That turned into our third one, though, didn't it?
Yeah, the swells were not swell in this situation.
Yeah.
And from our understanding, we didn't really get a lot of transparency from the cruise line. There was a lot of announcements saying we wouldn't be there, but the exact details, figuring it all out, we think it was the port captain or whatever from Dominica that said, no, you can't dock here. It was not the ship's decision. Mm-hmm. And it was unfortunate because a lot of people said, oh, stormy weather and stuff, we understand ports get canceled. In this situation, there was barely a whisper of wind at the time.
It was sunny, gorgeous looking days. So, yeah. Anyways. So, yeah, that was disappointment. But you know what? If you're going to be stuck at sea with missing ports, doing it on a group cruise with so many wonderful people with us, it was fabulous anyways. So we are very appreciative of it.
For sure. Yeah. And we went on this hoping to catch Dominica and Martinique, 2 new ports for us. We missed one of them. Yeah. But on the flip side, the 60 people that joined us more than made up for the missing a single port that we hadn't been to. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And we also had trivia while we were on board. So I stole one of the trivia questions of the 20 that we had when we were on board. Thought I'd throw it in here today and see how people do for trivia. Mm-hmm. So this is a true or false one. True or false that Mr. Canuck picks out and surprises Mrs. Canuck with new dresses before her cruises.
Are you asking people to answer that?
Yeah. Is that true or false that Mr. Canuck goes and buys his beautiful wife dresses so she can wear on the cruises?
I'm reading Peggy's answer. She says false.
We got a false already.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else want to?
Another false?
Serenity Searchers, false. Kylie's saying false. False. I'm just seeing false everywhere.
Look at this face. Do you don't think this face buys dresses for his beautiful wife?
More false answers coming in. False. Never, says Scott. You guys are correct. There is no way that Mr. Canuck buys me clothes. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, he had me read that question to the group, and I couldn't even read it without choking up laughing because, come on, really? Mm-hmm. No, that face can't be trusted is what Kylie's saying. Mm-hmm.
And interesting enough, during the trivia on board, when that question was asked, everyone got it right as well, and everybody else said false. So clearly no one believes I would ever buy you a dress. I'm going to have to do it before next time we go on a cruise.
Thank you.
Let's see what I choose for a dress.
He is so involved in my dress shopping, ladies. Like yesterday when we had a few minutes at a store, he went to the car while I went to the change room to try on a few dresses. He wasn't even in the building with me.
I was doing important YouTube stuff on my phone in the parking lot, yes.
Like at Sherry's. How can he pick them out when he can't even tell what color they are?
No faith, people.
Oh, I love it.
I will shock you with the dress I can pick out.
Oh, fair. Oh.
I saw some really good dresses when we were in Martinique that I would have liked Mrs. Canuck to purchase, but she did not. Just so you know, I was providing advice that day.
Yeah, they were not dresses that I would. Yeah. Anyways, Creamer is asking a question. Does Mrs. Canuck pick out Mr. Canuck's outfits? 9 times out of 10, yes. But there are a lot of things that I would like him to wear that he will veto a no to.
Veto.
So the majority of stuff is
like what? Speedo?
No. But Jerry is very much about texture and feel when it comes to clothing. So there's lots that I'll buy for him and have to return because it doesn't feel right. Yep.
Okay, we'll go to the questions and comments.
Okay.
And then we'll jump back over to, so I see some questions starting to pop up. And we'll talk more about the group cruise. Our questions and comments of the week. Brought to you by Bruce's Smoked Meatloaf. Okay, first question that came up that I found I thought we should clarify. Someone asked, Barbara Schuster asked, so Gigi's is a $14.99 option now, question mark, or included in the Princess Plus, question mark.
Right, so it is included in the Princess Plus. You can go to it or the 2 other casual dining restaurants for a total of twice per cruise. Or if you have no package whatsoever, you pay $14.99 to go to it each time. And if you have the premier package, you can go there as often as you can get a chair.
Yeah. So that's the rule. And if you don't have either one of those packages, then yes, it is $14.99. That will get you an appetizer, a main course, which is basically pizza or stromboli, roughly.
Yeah, they have 2 pasta dishes also you can choose from.
And a dessert. Speaking of dessert.
Usually when we go there, we're too full to have dessert. But the one time we went there, we had we shared an appetizer and shared a pizza. So I ordered the dessert, and I had the apple. What did they call it?
Tart.
Apple tart. Anyways, one of the best desserts I've ever had on Princess. I'm like, how have I been here this many times and I haven't tried this before? It had like a bread pudding sauce on it. It had just the most delicious filling. It was delicious. We both really enjoyed it. So if you do go to Gigi's, have the apple tart or tort for dessert.
For sure. One of the best desserts on the whole ship, I would have argued. I only had like 2 or 3 forks full.
Because I was eating it too fast.
But it was good.
No, it was really good.
And another comment that came in that kind of caught my attention because kind of hit a sensitive bone with me was I'm adverse to what I call forced fun activities. I don't need a quiz or a disco. I just like sun and cocktails is what they want. And there's times it's funny. I saw this comment and I made a comment to Mrs. Canucks. I wonder what it's like to go on a cruise where there's no organized activities, where there's theater shows, there's music around the ship, but there's nobody like screaming into a microphone trying to get you up to do some kind of activity or some Jenga or some trivia. What's it like just to be chill? I don't know if such a cruise experience exists with the higher end ships. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it does.
But so I kind of wonder at times because
and I feel Hall in America does a much better job of that too. They do have a trivia there that you can join if you want. But yeah, we found like the Piazza, for instance, on the Enchanted Princess, there's so much going on there. They're always doing games during the day or dance classes or some sort of very loud activity that it spills over into whatever other venue you may be in. So we were enjoying our one time that we got into the pub for lunch and just having a nice conversation, listening to the Irish music in the background. And all of a sudden, some activity started happening, a game in the Piazza, and the music goes down in the restaurant that we're having a nice lunch in, and we can just hear people yelling and screaming. So yeah, we get that. It sort of lost the whole ambiance and relaxing experience that we were looking for at that time.
For sure. And if there's a future Princess cruise director watching this, getting their contract, like we know happens sometimes, and you're looking for advice, take all that stuff down to the Vista Lounge. Great location for that. Doesn't interrupt the whole
For people
piazza.
that want to do it, they can do it and they can have fun. But then all the other venues that are around the piazza, I'm not talking about all the different, the pubs and all the different restaurants and venues there. And it's not like this noise pollution into whatever you're experiencing.
Yep.
Because we did find that happening quite a lot this cruise.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. And I threw a technical question in. This one's not for you. No, this one says your audio is always so good. What equipment are you using? Do you know what we're using?
We have little mics that we wear when we're on a ship. I'm just seeing if he had them on the table here with all of his stuff.
I do, kind of. Behind.
So yes, your audio is a very important thing, especially when you're on a loud ship and there's music playing or there's somebody with a microphone playing a game, organizing a game. So we are, from the time we get on a ship till the time we get off, we are mic'd pretty much all day long, unless we're in our cabin.
Yes, we usually have somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 hours of audio recorded every day. And that goes with the video that you see in our vlogs. And we pull out the audio from where we need it and we put in the video. So that way, because you walk around with a camera and you just do this all day long with the mic from the camera, all you're going to hear is noise in the dining room. You're going to hear
wind noise, people talking behind you. When we first started vlogging, we didn't have those microphones that Jerry just showed you, the DJI mics. And so it was making the editing a lot worse for him because we could just be having dinner in the restaurant for a table for two, but the couple sitting behind us, the camera would pick up their audio and we could hear their conversation. So Mike, if you are going to be vlogging, the best investment you can have is microphones, in our opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people will watch shaky video, but they're not going to listen to terrible audio at the
If
same
you
time.
can't hear what the people are saying, you're going to turn it off. At least that's my opinion. And we do that when we've been researching cruise lines that we want to go to and we watch other vloggers. If I can't hear what they're telling me, I stop watching. So yes, microphones are essential for what we do.
Yeah, for sure. And that message was brought to you by our future channel on Tips for Vloggers.
Now, if he ever had a spare hour in his life, that might be something he does, but not right now, guys.
So it's time to talk about the group cruise specifically.
Okay.
What do we want to say?
No, I don't know. We obviously didn't talk about this before we came online. Thought you had something you wanted to say.
I would have to say, overall, people want to know how the experience was. I would say the experience was way different than we expected and also way better than we expected. If that's possible. We thought it was going to be fun.
Yeah.
We did not realize that we would make friends that we know we're going to have for the rest of our life.
Yeah, that's how we feel, for sure.
Yeah, it was remarkable. I think our group was small enough that we had people that we could spend a majority of the time with. I know that some vlog group cruises are like interactions during the day now and then, and other than that, it's just a normal cruise. This kind of became one big group that was cruising together like family.
But it really wasn't, because there was a lot of people that weren't in that
people
main thing,
people chose to be part of that.
Like I found what we most enjoyed the best, or I should speak for myself, was when we were having the dinners for 10 with people. Because every night there's certain people that are on the same schedule as you, so we would all meet up at Good Spirits Bar, and there might be 10, 15, 20 of us doing that each night, depending on the night. But having the groups for 10 dining that we had, Jerry and I had that arranged so that every night we had different couples joining us. And that's when I felt like we got to know some of the people that decided to come along and take part. And that was the most special part for me. Mm-hmm. And we may not have spent as much time on the ship with them as we wanted to, just because we were so busy. But I felt like, if we ever did see them again, we would want to spend more time with them and be on, and, go out and do things with them and stuff like that. So yeah, we really had a great time getting to meet people. But even though it was a 10-day cruise, probably nearly didn't feel long enough to get to know everybody as much as you would want to, right?
For sure. And I think one of the interesting spin-off things that happened was that people that were in our group that never met each other before, that were there to kind of meet and be part of our group cruise, became close friends and started hanging out together. So new friendships were formed amongst the people that were on our group, which was amazing to see too.
And that's what I had hoped would happen. I mean, that was why we planned to have a group dining in the main dining room the first night with everybody, and tried to get together as much as we could the first night and that sort of thing. And then I was hoping we'd be in Princess Keys with the whole group at one section of the beach, just to sort of give people that bonding time and get to know each other, and then let it all go naturally from there, which, you know, it really did. People, I think, met friends, and I know that there was a lot of people in our group that exchanged cell numbers and email addresses and all of that, and we'll be keeping in touch with everybody. And we've been asked to keep our private Facebook group page up for everybody to share their future cruise plans and their photos from this trip and all of that. So that's going to happen so that they can just sort of keep that connection going. So that was all lovely.
Yeah, it almost feels like this group cruise kind of was like a graduating class from a school, in that this is going to go on. We're going to cruise differently and together, possibly again at times, but this core group will always kind of know each other now. That Facebook group that you talk about will kind of be that hub for people to stay in touch.
Well, I think there was a big learning lesson for Jerry and I with it too. You know, we weren't like, you know, I had people saying, what is your group cruise going to look like? And the reality was I didn't know. Jerry and I have never gone on a group cruise, and we definitely have never hosted a group cruise. So, you know, we did some things I think really well, and we did some more things that I think not so well. And so things would be changed differently. So, you know, we're definitely, I told everybody they were our guinea pigs on this cruise with us, finding, you know, what worked well and what didn't for others, and how to handle a whole different group. And, you know, in that group, you have different people that like to cruise different ways. And so anyways, it was very, I don't know what the word I'm looking for. It was
wonderful.
It was wonderful. Yeah. It was unexpected, I guess, how much I felt like Jerry and I received from it, how many good feelings. And
so for a lot of you that weren't on the group cruise that are watching this video, and there shall be lots of you that watch it even in replay, just to give you an idea how a typical day was structured in our group cruise. So we had to wake up in the morning, we would meet for coffee at the O'Malley's pub in the morning. And then, depending on what the day was, if it was a port day or not a port day, sometimes we had a couple times we had a kind of an organized excursion or activity we did during the day. We even had an extra one that kind of popped out because one of the group members said, hey, I've been here before. Would you guys like to join us? And we all joined that person, and that became kind of a group activity.
mm-hmm.
And then there were times where we just kind of mingled around during the day. We'd run into people in different venues, stop and have a drink, sit out on the deck together. We would do different things like that. And then we'd have happy hour. So we would catch up with someone somewhere on the boat before dinner, and we would do happy hour. And then we'd have our organized dinners. We had groups of 10 different people every night. And then in the evening, it was kind of more organic. It's like, what's everybody doing? And people just kind of go off, and, you know, we'd run into each other. We'd go to the show together, or we'd have a drink together. We'd go dancing in the evening together.
Yeah. And what we found was the nights that we were having a specific dinner with a group of 10, well, people that we've already had dinner with were having dinner with those people, and that sort of thing. So that flowed. That's the word. Gosh, I don't have my words today. Flowed naturally and seemed to be really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's kind of how it played out. When that was like 10 days doing all those type of things, all mixed in together. It was a combination of organic, just being with people, and some structure and some activities. We did the trivia we talked about. We did an organized meet and greet we did on the first day.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, my phone, if you just heard, went off. I just got text that our one daughter and her husband and the grandbaby has landed at the airport. So we've got one set of the family here. We're just waiting for the other family group to arrive. But that's the current update on that.
So, and I guess a lot of people are wondering, would we do a group cruise again?
Yes.
Yes.
Would we?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. It was a question a lot of people did. Yes, we will be doing a group cruise.
So the downside, one thing we haven't touched on, at least publicly in this live, we touched a little bit before we went. We had some real challenges with Princess that we feel they kind of dropped the ball in helping us organize things beforehand. The group services team wasn't responding to emails. They weren't helping us. We got on board. We actually had an officer on board kind of yell at Mrs. Canuck in the middle of our meet and greet and saying, why are you people here? And
even though I had received confirmation from the person in California saying that it was okay to be at the Vista Lounge at the time I requested. But she had not told people on the ship. And so the officer on the ship was not pleased that I was there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was pretty ugly, and it really hurt, to be quite honest with you. So yes, we're struggling. We are going to do another group cruise, but the way we set it up will be different. And what we've learned from Princess and other people is that we will have to do it as a group booking. Everybody will have to book through the same travel agent. And so probably that most naturally will be Jerry. We haven't 100% decided that yet, but it will not be let everybody book however they want to, which is what we thought would just be most comfortable and easy for everybody. We can't do it that way because basically they won't recognize us and talk to us as a group, and then it becomes planning a group activities, an extremely difficult, painful, challenging experience.
Yeah. And it didn't need to be this challenging. Princess made it worse on us than it needed to be, in our opinion.
Yeah.
We weren't very happy about that for sure. But
Sorry.
what we did do, Miss Princess was in the middle of trying to figure all this out. We were on board. We know the staff on board are amazing.
Yes.
They've treated us wonderful, and they made a wonderful trip for us over 10 days. So what we did is we said, Princess, you've got some problems at head office that we're going to deal with after the cruise, but we're not going to talk about this now. We're just going to have a great time with the people that came with us, and that's what we did. So we
did not want to lose. We did not want to let the logistics ruin our cruise or our fun. So yeah, we went on and we had a great time with everybody, and we'll deal with that when we get home.
Exactly. So one way or the other. But and I think that was a good call because we didn't get wrapped up in all that stuff, any negativity. We were able to just have a positive experience with our group, and I think that's what people love about what we do, and that's what we love about the people we met too, is they're positive people. Yes,
that's right. Yeah, we are all about positivity, so we don't want to focus on the negative, but there definitely was some negative things there, so we have to learn from those and try to prevent something like that from happening in the future.
For sure. Lesson learned. We learned a whole bunch of lessons. That was one of them for sure.
But the biggest lesson we learned was we have the most loyal, supportive followers that we couldn't believe. The amount of love that we felt from the people that we met on this cruise has been overwhelming from the minute not even from the minute we got on the cruise. The day before, when Kimmy Cat and James arranged a meet and greet at the hotel lobby that a bunch of people were staying at, and we got together there and met, was there 12, 14 people there, and just the love and support that we felt even that night. It allowed me to sleep the night before getting on the cruise, knowing that if this group of people, if the other people that are meeting us are going to be like this, we're going to have a lifetime trip, a fantastic trip. And we definitely did. And it came true for sure.
For sure. And I think that, that was such an amazing experience that I did not expect to have people. It was surreal to me. I think, where did these people come from that ended up on this ship with us and treated us so wonderfully?
Yeah, we just feel so blessed and so lucky. And just, we have talked about in some of our vlogs in the past about our life together and being able to be at this stage in our life where we're cruising as much as we are. And because of YouTube and because of all of your support, I've been able to retire 5 years earlier than what we had originally planned. And so, we've already been feeling all that love and support, but then get to meet so many of you in person and feel that love and support firsthand was just such a gift and a pleasure.
For sure. It was definitely a very emotional experience having to say goodbye.
It was, yeah. Yeah, he's going to make me relive it all. But yeah, I may have had to have run out of Good Spirits Bar the last night and get to my cabin. And Mr. Canuck's like, why are we leaving so soon? And I'm like, I didn't want to cry in front of everybody. But it was so wonderful.
So we have a few minutes left. Maybe we'll jump through a few comments and questions.
Okay.
I want to let everybody go. We got family coming in, so we don't have a lot of extra time, but I'm sure we can jump through a few questions here. Aaron has a question. Good for you guys. You're a class act group cruise on another cruise line.
Yes, we're definitely looking into that, Aaron. We were sort of debating between two different cruise lines in the previous few months and trying to narrow it down. And so, we haven't made up our mind 100% what cruise line the next cruise will be on. We can tell you guys that we are looking at doing it hopefully next January, February timeline. And we're sort of debated between two different cruise lines and two different ships at this point. And we'll make that decision in the coming weeks.
For sure. So, yes, hopefully we'll talk to the cruise line this time before we confirm it.
Yes.
So we know that we're going to be treated right. And more importantly, all of our guests are going to be treated right and get the experience they deserve. So, James says that you're likable, I believe.
James says, you both come across so nice and likable in your videos. Is that the one you're reading? But you were even more so in person. Must be a Northern Ontario thing. It was truly a pleasure meeting and visiting with you both on board. Thanks, James.
Thanks, James.
And we look forward to meeting with you and Leanne a little bit more in the coming months.
Hopefully in Northern Ontario.
In Northern Ontario.
And one thing we didn't really touch on, but we had this big group of people that were with us, but then there had to be at least double that again, over 100 other people that came up to us at different times saying they follow the channel, they're subscribers, they were happy to meet us and say hi. So it was wonderful. We felt like we had hundreds of people on the boat that we were able to smile, meet, talk, find out where they're from, learn about their experiences. So that was another gift on top of meeting all the people in person that we knew were coming already.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was at least another 100 people that came up throughout the cruise for sure.
Well, James and Kimmy Cat said they cried all the way home.
We feel as if we've made lifelong friends. Thank you so much. Yeah, we feel the exact same way.
Yep. Yep, it was a tough last day, that's for sure. I'm just trying to see.
Can you read John's comment right? It's on the bottom of my screen.
Sure.
It says, we're booked on the Caribbean Princess in June. The older Princess ships have a much better layout where noise doesn't blend amongst the venues as much. And that is exactly what our thought was, John, throughout this whole cruise. We kept thinking, because when we had booked this cruise, we were debating between the Enchanted Princess. We had never been on the Enchanted Princess when we booked this group cruise. But we were debating between that one and the Caribbean Princess. And we kind of feel like the Caribbean Princess has a better layout for that sort of noise pollution, and also venues to have a larger group get together than what the Enchanted offered.
I see a question from Anna to the top of your screen there now.
Okay. Is Gigi's worth going? I heard the free pizza on pool deck is better. I agree with that. The pool deck pizza is delicious, and you don't need to pay for going to Gigi's if you don't have a package.
Yep.
What I love about Gigi's, obviously the table service is nice. I enjoy their antipasta platter as an appetizer, and their dessert's delicious. But I agree, you can get quality pizza for free all the time on the pool deck. Yeah.
Joel is saying that maybe Mr. Canuck buys them, but Jill picks them out in reference to your dresses. There you go.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, we definitely have a shared credit card, so whatever I buy goes on the same bill, and everything gets paid out of the same bank account.
I see that Kylie is saying there, Patreon vote. I think she's referring to helping decide where the next group cruise is going to be. And just that ties into, we have a growing community on Patreon now. We're just amazed at the support we're getting on Patreon, where there's like additional content and engagement and all other stuff that we can do with those folks.
Yes.
So yeah, if you haven't heard about that, then check that out. Our Patreon page, just Google Patreon and Cruising Canucks.
And maybe something that Kylie, because she wasn't with us on the on this group cruise, unfortunately, but maybe that's something that we have to sort of say. We have committed to doing another group cruise next year, but we've also committed to planning a patron only cruise. And so, because people have different schedules, and what might work for you one time or somewhere else, it might be different. So we'll be updating you on all of that for sure too. But we will have two sort of event cruises next year, one Patreon, one group cruise.
Yeah. And Kelly is saying that you rock.
Thank you.
Can't wait for the next gathering, she says.
Excellent.
For sure, yeah.
So
yeah, we felt when we left, everybody was like, when's the next one? We can't wait to do this again. And we felt the same way. Like, let's get the next one planned and going. So
yeah, for sure.
And Scott says he may not have been on the group cruise, but he feels all the love coming from comments and also through Patreon.
Thank you.
And 2025 clears calendar. I think Kylie's
okay.
said.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, we know people's calendars for 25 are booking up fast because a lot of people book cruises a year or two ahead of time.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get a decision, but we wanted to wait till we're done the group cruise and this next cruise before we do that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're not great at planning ahead like some of you. We've never planned. This cruise that we just got off of that we planned for the group cruise was the longest we had ever booked a cruise out. So yeah, we're pretty much want to go on a cruise in 2 months, let's book. Yeah. So some of you are much better at getting those early deals when they first come out a year or two ahead. We've never been great at that.
Yeah, what would you do if we just came on live and said, hey, group cruise next week, let's go? Because that's kind of our style.
Yeah, but we understand it makes it difficult for people, especially working and and now it's just everything's so booked all the time that you can't do it like we used to always cruise.
Yeah, So we've got to the end of that stuff. We're running out of time as families starting to land at the airport. We got to get ready for the next cruise. So I think we'll call it there.
We will.
But thanks for joining us in our little hotel here in between cruises.
And if you joined us on board for the last 10 days, we thank you again.
Yes.
It was so wonderful. There's some people that I felt like I didn't get a chance to spend enough time with, and we want to be able to do that. But we were just so thankful for everybody, and we had such a wonderful time. And again, thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you gave us a lifetime of memories. It wasn't just a good cruise. It was a lifetime experience, for sure. So on that note, we are going to say goodbye, unfortunately, on another cruise. But then we're going to be back doing a live, not next Sunday, but the Sunday after.
Yes.
And we'll probably do something with our Patreon people probably a day or so before or right around the same time to kind of give them an update. And thanks. I see people wishing us a wonderful family cruise on MSC. Some people thought that maybe MSC, the first one we did, we got lucky.
Right.
So we're going to go in a second time and see if we have just as much fun.
We'll see.
We're going to let you know.
We will find out tomorrow.
Bye, everybody, and wish us luck. Bye.